Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. So before we jump into the video talking about appropriate and inappropriate toys for ferrets, I wanted to do a couple disclaimers. I have recently posted a couple new sources of ferret information. I have a ferret care sheet. It is in a PDF format that I will be keeping in the description of every video from here on out. I also spent a lot of time working on my own comprehensive dry food kibble chart. This chart contains kibbles, air-dried raw foods, freeze-dried raw foods, which is the best, which is the worst, and so on. So I highly suggest that you check that out if you want to feed a dry food. And my next disclaimer, I just wanted to address a couple comments and messages that I've been receiving over the past few weeks. A lot of them have said or have expressed their annoyance with my raw feeding content, and I've already talked about this before many times, but I am a raw feeding channel. I promote and advocate for raw feeding for ferrets, cats, and dogs, and I always will, and I have been doing this for over a year now on my channel. You can see on my first ferret care guide, the first video that I've ever posted on ferrets, I talk about a raw diet. That's what I was feeding at the time, and that is what I still promote and feed to this day. So I mean, that's just what I've always wanted to post about, just very passionate about, I love talking about, and if that bothers you, I honestly don't know why you're even here in the first place. If it really makes you feel super bad, or if my videos somehow make you feel bad for not being able to feed raw, first of all, you're not getting my message correctly, because I have never once said that you're a bad person if you can't feed raw. There are plenty of other accounts that you can follow that promote feeding dry food for ferrets. There are so many out there, and I just don't happen to be one of those accounts, and if it bothers you that badly, I don't know what to say. Like, honestly, it's really frustrating getting these messages, because I mean, I don't know what you guys expect me to say to that. I have many resources. Again, I have an entire video on what to do if you can't feed raw. I have an entire kibble chart that took me hours to do. I didn't have to make that. Moving on from that disclaimer, I have another one, and that is YouTube comments. I don't read my YouTube comment section anymore. Part of that has to do with the thing that we were just talking about how people just voicing that they don't like my account because of what I preach, but yet they still continue to follow me. I don't understand why. I don't read the comments anymore because it began to really negatively affect my life, and it still does, because people are still able to reach out to me and say these things to me. I've had a big issue with that lately, so I decided to just stop reading them altogether, and you will see that I have a couple moderators that actually moderate my comment section, because I am aware that I get questions down there and I really want them to be answered. I don't want them to go, you know, be left unanswered. And since doing that, my quality of life has improved tremendously. I'm so happy and very thankful for my moderators who agreed to do this for me. Really helps lift the weight off my shoulders. And that also brings me on to my next point about Instagram DMs. I was at a point where I was answering every single message. That was also really bad for my mental state, trying to answer everyone's messages. And so I decided to change it to just answering them every Sunday, which did help a lot. Eventually, I will have to stop accepting new DMs on Instagram. I really hate that I have to do that, but in order to keep my mental health, you know, solid, I will have to do that sometime in the future. Not now, I'm still answering them every Sunday, but if you really do need to message me, I recommend emailing me. That's the easiest way to get to me, but even then I may not respond in a timely manner at all, because I do have 70+ students in my raw mentoring program right now, so I'm a little busy. It's a little hectic there, but I will work at trying to answer it at some point. Anyways, that was like 8 minutes worth of disclaimers, and I really apologize, but now let's just jump right into the actual context of this video. Safe toys. This is a highly requested video subject, and I'm happy to get it out there for you. So I have a lot of toys for my ferrets that I've just been collecting over the past year and so. A little note, so my ferrets are not destructive whatsoever when it comes to toys, so they can have things with stuffing I know that they're not going to cause trouble with it or swallow it or have a blockage, but many ferrets are not like that. Many ferrets chew wires. They're very destructive with their toys. They can't have anything with stuffing in it, and I totally get that and understand that. My ferrets just are not like that, so I have normal toys here for them, but I will note on each of them that if it may have a problem with other ferrets. So first I'll just show you a little bit of my toy collection for them. I have Howl's most favorite toy. This is the only toy that Howl likes. It is a Kong Wubba meant for small dogs, and he's already chewed off an ear. He did not swallow it, and he just, I don't know why he likes this toy so much. He doesn't like any other toys. He will take this toy and stash it in a very particular spot, and that's all he does with it. He doesn't actually play with it, but if I squeak it, he will hear it and he will come running. These are pretty good. I haven't had an issue with these so far, but of course, as you can see, they can chew off the ear part, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend this toy for very young ferrets and only use it during supervised playtime. My favorite toys to use for my ferrets are cat wand toys. So you've probably seen them. They're also called teaser toys for cats. They love these toys. You cannot really go wrong with these. And the only thing with them is a lot of the times the toy at the end gets pulled off, it gets detached. In that case, I usually just tie on a new toy and it works just as fine, or I tied that toy back on. So right now I just have a little mouse at the end of it, and they don't really like this one that much, but it works, and you can get these at anywhere. So this one is Pazu's baby. He loves this toy. Not exactly a perfectly safe toy for all ferrets, but as you can see, it is a well-loved butterfly teaser toy. You have to be careful with these kinds of toys, especially once they start getting frayed like this one. You don't want to give them access to that. But Pazu is very well behaved with his toys. He pretty much just stashes it, or if I'm playing with him, he'll just, you know, jump and chase it. He doesn't actually chew on his toys. I also just got this one. It has a little wooden end and a nice long toy. I really like this one because it's very safe. This material is fine for them, little fluffy balls. These ones are a little iffy because they can come off really easily, as you can see, so you want to be careful with these ones. But again, my ferrets are not naughty. These types of toys usually contain catnip, which isn't really harmful for ferrets. They don't really have that same effect on ferrets, but of course you want to be careful if they expose the catnip and whatnot. But for toys like this that have it inside, it's not going to really do anything for your ferrets. I have another DIY one. The actual handle was broken off, and I tied it to a little Santa toy, a little dog toy, and they really like to chase this around as well, so you can really do what you want with them. Now, big toys like these, big stuffed toys, they don't really like or play with. It's really just, I don't know, used as a decoration when Christmas time comes around. I don't necessarily recommend big stuffies like this because, again, they just don't really play with them in my experience. Now, moving on to Pazu's stash. Pazu has a lot of toys that are his babies that he loves with all of his heart, and he loves to stash them as well. And some of them are this little stuffed fish, and as you can see, there are no eyeballs on it. It's like actually sewed into the toy, so you don't have to worry about it detaching and becoming a blockage risk. And it has a little bit of a crinkly sound. This is a really good safe toy in my opinion, as long as your ferrets do not chew soft toys or stuffing. But yeah, it's like a perfect little size for a little ferret. This one is really cute. This is Pazu's teddy bear, and this toy has held up pretty well. It's just a stashing toy. They don't actually play with it or anything like that, but Pazu does really like this teddy bear. Pazu also has this turtle toy that's very similar to the fish one, and it used to be attached to it like a teaser. It obviously broke, and it's just a turtle now, and he likes to stash this as well. We have a lot of these little rattle mice. These are generally safe, but they still have, the eyeballs can kind of come off a little bit, so you have to be careful. This is really gross. I'm gonna stop holding on to that. But he also really likes mini Kong Wubbas. These ones are meant for cats in comparison to the ones meant for dogs, which are a little bit heavier duty. This has a rattle inside, and he loves to stash these so much. Tanji also enjoys these, but other than that, they don't really play with it. Really not much of a risk with these toys. I also have larger plushies with Kronicle in it. They do like to play with this one sometimes, and they'll also play with this little pizza. They really liked them when they were little. They don't really play with them anymore. You can also get interactive toys for them. This is a ferret one. that you can actually put treats inside, and it's got a little bell in there too for some reason, and they can try to get it out. I haven't actually used it for that purpose, but yeah, you can use interactive toys. There are a bunch of them online that are really good for ferrets. I really like ping pong balls. These are great to use instead of like actual ball pit balls, the plastic ones. They're very easily squished. They can chew them really easily and really bite and eat the plastic potentially. So these are really good. They're more heavy duty. They can't really bite into these, and they're fun to roll around on the floor and they will chase them. I also have a lot of jingle balls. You have to be careful about the really flimsy ones, like these ones. These are really flimsy because, I mean, they're just easy to break, and then the actual bell part can come out, and that can be a blockage hazard. So if you get ones like these, this is a little bit harder for it to break and actually come out. But again, supervised playtime only. I also keep all their toys in a really cute wicker box in case you were wondering. I have a lot of these mice that make sound when they move. Oh, there it goes. And Pazu really likes these, but no one else does, so this is his toy. But I have a lot of these, and I have one that's on a really long string that my friends got me. Ooh, I don't know, I've talked about this one before, but I think that it came maybe in a McDonald's Happy Meal or something like that. But it is a hard plastic toy, and you can wind it up and it will like bounce up and down. And it's really cute, and the ferrets do like this, and it is a relatively safe toy for them. But a lot of hard plastic kid toys can be safe. My ferrets love these wind-up cars that you pull back and then they go and then they chase them. They're super fun. This is a very safe toy. I don't really play with them unless I roll them back and then they can chase them. So there's really no risk with these types of toys. As far as inappropriate toys go, I don't really have them for obvious reasons because, I mean, my ferrets can't play with them. So rubber toys are usually a big no-no. Anything silicone, but rubber is the biggest substance that tends to block up a ferret system when ingested, so you really want to be careful. I don't even offer rubber toys for supervised playtime because, I mean, the risk is just so high, and I have had issues in the past when I didn't know any better with Pazu. I just don't want that to happen again, so I overall do not recommend rubber or silicone toys. Hope I gave you some ideas for what you can do with your ferrets. I didn't mention any like tubes or tunnels and stuff because I plan on making another video dedicated on those kinds of toys sometime in the future. I do not recommend leaving any toys in a cage with a ferret while they are unsupervised because the risk of blockage is just so high in a ferret. Keep the toys for outside playtime, which they should be getting an ample amount of every single day. And then a little final note, if you notice that your ferret is chewing on like everything and they're not just a baby, this is something that might be a problem. I would look into offering more free roam time. A lot of the time when ferrets are big chewers or they're very destructive in the cage, for example, or even outside of the cage they're very destructive, it usually means that they're not getting enough free roam time. I just want to throw that out there because I do get a lot of messages asking, you know, my ferret's chewing on everything, or my ferret is a bad biter. Usually that has something to do with not getting enough outside cage time. Again, I just wanted to reiterate, just because my ferrets are okay with stuffed toys like these does not mean that your ferrets will, so keep an eye out and only do toys while supervised with them. You never know, and especially with young ferrets, you want to be really careful with them. So that is all that I have for you today. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 8K, which is insane. We just hit 7K the other day, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm very thankful and grateful for that. You can find me on Instagram in a couple different places. I have 2 accounts on there. I have one where I post pictures of my ferrets being cute, and then I have another one of pictures of my meals for them. Starting on Monday, I'll actually be posting pictures of my ferrets' meals every single day for 7 days, so you can see realistically what I'm feeding, you know, every day, because right now I kind of just post a picture there and here, and it doesn't really match up very well. This way I can actually show you guys what I'm feeding on a day-to-day basis over 7 days, over a whole week, so it should be helpful. A lot of people are excited for it, and that starts on Monday on my raw feeding Instagram, The Mindful Mustelid. Keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions or you want to contact me directly, best way is through email. I'm not going to be answering DMs for much longer, and I don't respond to YouTube comments, but there are a lot of really good moderators that are helping me out that will be able to answer your questions. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.